I want to make a brief video talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is money and entrepreneurship. I appreciate the fact that as a result of some of the money related videos that I've put out there, that people have written me and told me that they have literally transformed their life, that they have started business. They've gone into certain businesses that I have discussed in detail, such as ATM investing, and they've shared their success with me. I mean, some of them have gotten up to six-figure income status as a result of some of the videos I put out. And that's why I do what I do. But I want to talk about money right now because at this moment, I'm very proud of my 6-year-old. I'm proud of all my children. I have 3 sons, and my oldest son has 4 sons of his own. Wonderful kids. I'm very proud of my 6-year-old grandson, who is the oldest. And right now, he has made about $180 working 1 hour a day for about 3 days. And the expectation is that he'll be up to 300 by probably Monday or Tuesday next week. He's averaging about $60 an hour. He's 6 years old. Okay. And I talked on another video about how I started my entrepreneurship quest at about the age of 5 or 6. My grandson is following the model that his father, my oldest son, is showing him in his business. And I've talked on other videos about the importance of instilling entrepreneurship in a child while they are young. Okay. Now, I don't know how entrepreneurship got instilled in me because my father was not an entrepreneur and neither were my mother. Now, they both did entrepreneurial ventures, but I would not classify them as entrepreneurs. My father was a career military man. He made some smart investments. He made some wise decisions. He was able to retire. He's doing extremely well now, with making substantially more money than he ever did working because of the smart choices he made. But I don't believe I got it from them. I know for a fact my son got it from me and that his son got it from him, and that's just the way it is. We pass this legacy on. It's going to be very difficult to control someone who is able to make $60 an hour when they're 6 years old to ever convince them later on that their life goal lies in working a job, working for someone else. When factually, very few adults make $60 an hour today. Granted, he's only working an hour per day, so he's actually making $60 a day, but he could do more. But the main thing is, it's not even the money. It's the ideology. It is the mindset. Just like me, it may have been a Charlie Brown commercial or a Charlie Brown movie or television show that caused me to start thinking about making money when I was 6 years old, 5 and 6. Maybe it was Lucy who had a little psychiatrist business. For 5 cents, she would give you advice. Something triggered me as a small child to want to make my own money. And as I mentioned on other videos, I asked my mother, how can I make money? She didn't take me seriously at first. She started giving me some ideas. Unbeknownst to her, I was dead serious. I did everything she suggested. I didn't know that I could pick up bottles, because at the time, bottles were much more popular than cans for soda. And I could turn those into a store once I accumulated them and get money. I said, you can get money for bottles? She said, yes, you can. I did it when I was a child. Well, I guess my mother did her version of entrepreneurship too. I said, wow, I didn't know that. I could get rich. That's what I said to her. My eyes lit up. She just laughed. She thought it was cute. She thought it was funny. She didn't know I was dead serious. I went in my room. I started making plans, and I started doing it. I started lemonade stands and Kool-Aid stands and going door to door and asking the neighbors if I could pick up the trash in their yard, put it in a little bag and dump it for them. They would give me money for that. I actually thought about putting trash in their yard and then knocking on the door and offering to pick it up so they could pay me. But I said, no, that wouldn't be honest. But I did think about it. I'll admit it, but I never did it. I did everything ethically and honestly, which is something that I followed my whole life. But I thought about it for a moment because I was trying to think about how can I maximize my income. And it wasn't even about my money. Matter of fact, my mother said, why do you want to make your own money? You know we give you money for anything you need. And what do you need money for anyway? I couldn't think of anything other than when the ice cream truck came by, I said for ice cream. When the ice cream truck comes by, I can buy ice cream and popsicles. She said, you know we give you money for that. I said, Mom, I just want to make my own money. I just want to make my own money. Couldn't explain why. I just want to make my own money. Like, Dad, be responsible. And she gave me ideas and I started doing it. I never looked back. Yes, I've had jobs, I've had careers and all that, but I've been an entrepreneur. It's in my blood. It's in my children's blood. My second oldest son is 18. He just recently graduated from high school. He graduated valedictorian of his class. We're going to be talking about knowledge and education. He has never seen a B in his life. From kindergarten to 12th grade, he's never gotten a B. He's never gotten a A minus. He's a straight A student. He's a straight A plus student. Highest GPA in his graduating class. He wants to be a architectural engineer, computer programmer, both. He's a little bit undecided. I don't care what he does. I don't care what any of my kids do. Just do you, be happy, and be successful, whatever you do. That's it. Follow your dream, not mine. Life is meant to be enjoyed. This pursuit of the almighty dollar for the pursuit of the almighty dollar is not a dream. It's not a vision. It's not something I endorse. If you are pursuing money because you have greater objectives that require money, then that's really what you're pursuing, not just the money of itself. Because as I've stated before, money has no intrinsic value. Its only purpose and role is to have a medium of exchange so that you can get the things that do have intrinsic value. But life is meant to be enjoyed. And there's so much we can learn. I'm going to tell you something. I am really, really tired of poor people hating on the rich. And that Occupy Wall Street movement that was going on a few years ago, it really, really, really got on my nerves because it made no sense. I respected it at first until I realized that they had no purpose. They had no agenda. The only thing it was a bunch of people who were unsuccessful. Maybe they had been successful, but they were basically failing in life and they were mad and they were miserable and they were trying to find someone to blame. So let's blame the rich. This sign right here, 99% poor, 1% rich. First of all, that's not true. It depends on how you classify poor. And it depends on how you classify rich. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. There's no injustice. Nothing is wrong. You can strive to become one of the rich. And then you're not going to be in the majority. You're going to be in the minority. It doesn't matter what that minority figure represents. You can be a part of that. It is extremely easy in the United States of America. My message to anyone is stop making excuses. One of the problems that people have in our society is that they think that education is the key. And they're right. But there are those who think that college is the key. And they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to do certain things like be a architectural engineer like my second son, then of course you must go to college. And he is. If you want to do anything in life, you should go to college. You should go to college just for the experience. You really should. It's a wonderful experience to have. It'll change you. It'll transform you. It'll make you a better person. But it is not the key in and of itself just because you went to college, and that's the problem. Because some of the most educated people, they have a college education. They have advanced degrees. They have masters and even PhDs. They are anything but successful. Then not only are they not successful, but many of them are not happy. And many of them that are successful are not successful because of anything at all that they learned through that college education. Does any of this sound like a contradiction? Education is absolutely the key. What is education? Education is knowledge. Some people would say that knowledge is power. Well, that's not true. Education is everything. Adult education is some of the best education you can get. Unfortunately, college education, when you go right out of high school into college, maybe that's what you need because you're still a child. You think like a child. You're small-minded for the most part. for the most part. This doesn't apply to everybody, but it applies to many. And if you need to learn things that are technical, if you need to learn medicine and engineering and mathematics and geometry and physics and all of that, then that is absolutely the best way to do it. Go get your college education. But if your primary concern is business, and you are convinced that what you need to go do is get an MBA in business, then that really depends on what your ultimate objective is. If you want to come and work for me, then maybe that's what you need to do. But if you want to be the one who writes the checks and signs the checks and owns the company and starts the company, then you might want to look at other routes, because the best education you can get is the type of education I'm going to show you now, where you can actually learn from people that are actually doing the thing you want to do. Okay. You want to be a day trader, then you learn day trading. You get that education. That is the education you need. That's the most important education you need, is the rudiments of how to day trade. Now, if you're basically an uneducated person, you're inarticulate, you can't read, you can't write, you're not really functional, you're not good at math, you need all of that too. But let's just assume that you're generally an intelligent person. You need to learn the specifics and the rudiments of the thing you want to do. Okay? Therefore, you can create money faucets. What if money could drip into your account daily? That's the way I live. It happens daily. Right now, while I'm making this video, I am making money simultaneously at the same time. There are so many ways you can do that. Some people say, well, you sure have a lot of time on your hands. Well, success gives you a lot of time on your hands. That's your ultimate objective, because the most precious commodity in life, it's not money. It is time. It is time. But see, time, time is almost like it's not what it should be in your life when you have unlimited amounts of time, but you don't have the freedom. See, people in prison have time. As a matter of fact, they have so much time. Going to prison is called doing time, but what they don't have is freedom. And people that are homeless, they also have time, because they don't have anywhere to be, they don't have anywhere to go, they don't have anything to do for the most part. So they have time. They don't have to get up at a certain time. They don't have to be anywhere at a certain time. Their whole life is time. They're homeless. Okay? So they have time and they have freedom, but what they don't have is money, the financial resources to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, wherever they want to do it. The ability to be mobile, the ability to catch a train, a plane, a cruise ship, a Learjet, anywhere, and go to Australia, to go to the Bahamas, to go to Jamaica, to go to Brazil, to go to Argentina, to go to Germany, go to Australia, whenever they feel like it. They can't do that because they don't have any money. They have time, though, and they have freedom. So you need time, you need freedom, and you need the financial resources to be able to enjoy your life. Then you can call yourself successful. Then you can call yourself financially free. Then you can say that you have arrived at least to a level that all of us should strive for. When you're tied to and bound to a job, no matter how much money you make, one of the things you don't have is time, because all your time is devoted to your job. And one of the things you don't have is freedom, because you have to be there tomorrow morning or call in sick or have a good excuse. You cannot decide, I'm going to go just because I feel like it and live in Argentina for the next 3 months for whatever reason. I can do that. I can do that because I can make money anywhere I go, anywhere I live in this world. Your secret weapon. I would encourage everyone to have a personal library. My oldest son and I had a very good conversation this morning, and he was talking about all of the life lessons that I've taught him and how you learn from your mistakes, and some of the things I told him, they didn't kick in until later in life. At this point, he's 20. My God, I don't know how old he is. I think he's 26. Or he's 27. I'm sorry, I'm just bad with things like that. I think he's 27. But he was talking about how if he'd have adopted some of the things I taught him at a much earlier age in life, he'd be much further ahead than he is now. But he's actually doing extremely well. And like I said, he's mentoring his children to be entrepreneurs as well. And it's all looking good. And I'm very proud of what they all are doing. But your secret weapon, your personal library. When we talk about education, we need to understand that education comes in so many forms, and there's so many facets to education. There are so many people that run around thinking that they are educated, but they're truly not, because they got a degree conferred upon from UCLA, Stanford, wherever the heck it was, and maybe it is in business administration or business or management or something like that. And they did what they needed to do in order to pass the test, in order to get the degree, and so that they can then go out there and try to get a job. They are clueless, many of them, and I know some of these people personally. When it comes to business, you majored in business, but you don't know squat about business. You really don't. You know enough to maybe work a job for somebody else, but that is about it. Because you never learned entrepreneurship. You never understood that education per se comes in so many forms on so many different levels other than just that traditional type of education. My grandson is getting an education right now today. He's getting a college level education that even a lot of college professors don't have in entrepreneurship. And he's getting it from his dad, who got it from his dad, which is me, in entrepreneurship. You can talk all you want. You have college professors teaching business, but who have not started a business ever in their life, and frankly, don't know how to in many cases. There's nothing that beats the power of training and education, where you can see it for yourself. So my oldest son and I discussed, and he was asking me questions about how we can get my grandson and his son into the financial world. And we were talking about setting up a bank account for him and giving him the opportunity to start managing his own money. Yes, again, he is 6 years old. Okay. And we are going to create a multimillionaire. It's just like a given. It's no question about it. And just like I talked on another video about how I donated blood plasma for 3 months, which was my only source of income when my parents were in another country. I never once called them and asked them for assistance, for money, or anything else, or even let them know I was doing bad, because I wanted to be independent. I knew my parents could bail me out, but I did not want them to. I had to prove something to myself. That is the type of independent thinking that we try to instill in our children. And I have instilled it in my children, and they're going to instill it in their children as well. So when I say that my grandson is going to be a multimillionaire, he's going to make his own way, however he does it. Not inherit it or have it given to him or left to him. He is going to create it. Well, maybe both, but he's definitely going to create his own wealth as well. This man is making money in this picture, and he had an extremely profitable day. I found this picture, and I said, yeah, I'll put a caption on it. He's kicking back, yet doesn't even have his shoes on. Looks like he's lazy. He's not doing anything, but he's making more money watching television than most of you make going to your job and working hard, because he has learned something about creating passive income and the freedom that we all should strive for. Freedom is not free. You have to pay your dues. I have paid my dues to have the freedom that I have today.